life or death.
I almost couldn't even tell when it transitioned. 2001 was a great year for me, so many good games and movies. Gran Turismo 3, Final Fantasy X, Devil May Cry, Grand Theft Auto 3, Halo, Metal Gear Solid 2, Tony Hawk 3, SSX Tricky. It was a busy year for little me. Even when we were getting bombarded with great games, the most memorable thing about 2001 for me was the back-to-back releases of the first movie in both Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings series. They were both pretty amazing, especially Fellowship of the Ring, the best movie in the trilogy and probably my favorite movie of all time. These two Lord of the Ring games, The Two Towers and The Return of the King, were movie tie-in games that were released a few months before their respective movies. There is a Fellowship of the Ring video game that came out around the same time. It's surprisingly unrelated to The Two Towers and The Return of the King game. The Fellowship of the Ring game is supposed to be based on the books only. Movie tie-in games always had a notorious reputation, so I wasn't expecting much when I first played them, but my god, these games were amazing.
Quickly, this way!
But were they really that amazing? Or did they benefit from coming out during the peak of the Lord of the Rings popularity? What made the Two Towers video game so good? It was a video game that respected video gamers and movie watchers at the same time. It felt like you were playing a part of the movie. The Two Towers video game follows the stories of the first two movies for some reason. It is a hack and slash action game where you can pick between Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli. There are some differences between the characters, but I feel like overall the basics are the same. They all have a quick attack, fierce attack, parry, knockback, and range attack. It feels pretty fun to deflect arrows and then stab some orcs in the throat. There are many variety of enemies which all take different strategy to defeat. Or some of them just take care of themselves. There are RPG elements to the game as well, so you can level up your characters to make them stronger. Replaying it again in 2024, it's still as amazing as I remember. I've heard people say that the graphics didn't age well, but you have to understand it's more than 20 years old now. I think it looks serviceable. Even though Legolas's face is almost unrecognizable, it's charmingly bad. What I didn't like was the fixed camera angles, which while understandable, is at a very questionable places at times. Why is there so many times where you're running towards the camera? I can't see where I'm going. Or sometimes the camera angle switches suddenly in a disorienting manner. Sometimes though, the fixed camera helps with it feeling more like a cinematic experience. The thing is that The Two Towers is just fun to play. It will be fun even without all the Lord of the Rings stuff in it. But it does have Lord of the Rings stuff in it, and it's placed in there with love and care. There are no lengthy tutorials or slow beginnings. Boom, right into action, no foreplay. There is a lot of replayability due to the RPG elements with the multiple characters, and there are also many unlockables in the game. Even seeing the game overseen is pretty entertaining. Overall, The Two Towers is still a great hack and slash game that is worth playing for anyone. You know what's even better than the Two Towers game? The sequel, Return of the King. This was one of those sequels that took everything good about the first game and pumped it up with steroids. Instead of 4 characters to choose from, there are 9, even though 4 of them are hobbits. You can now interact with the environment in a few different ways. You can use catapults, throw spears, open doors, and look at Gandalf jump off this wall. Whee! I hope Gandalf has magical knees. The map itself is way larger than in the first game, but sometimes when you die, you get sent back to like 10 years ago. The checkpoints are not too kind at times. There are more content and tons more unlockable compared to the first game, and most importantly, they added the co-op mode. It was probably one of my favorite couch co-op experience on the PS2. These 2 Lord of the Ring games, not you, are definitely still worth playing today. The game is an enjoyable experience to anyone who enjoyed the Lord of the Ring movies or enjoys action games. The added co-op mode in Return of the King makes the game even better. I always hear people saying that they want a remaster of these 2 games, but what I want is a brand new game like this. How about a couch co-op hack and slash game that is fun and not too grindy? Or a movie tying game that actually is made with love?